Mad Dog, believe me, is the kind of a character you are not going to take lightly and not mess with. But Duggan isn't the kind of a man who messes lightly with anybody, and that's why this match has reached the stage where the coal miner's glove has been called on to settle the feud between them. Will it settle the feud? It has settled a lot of feuds in the past. That is the one thing that you can keep in mind. And there was Duggan, who baited the trap. He climbed up there and had his eye on the Mad Dog and then caught him rushing in. So Sawyer is on his knees, and he's as dangerous on his knees as he is standing on his feet or any other way. He has just gone after the eye. Hacksaw Duggan, and Duggan, who has only one good eye, is very, very particular about what happens to that portion of his face. So the Mad Dog has gone to the outside. The Mad Dog folds up the chair and, right across the back. And this battle, which is for all the marbles on an all-out basis. Sawyer's back in the ring. He's showing these fans now that he's the man who was able to get back up into that ring, and Sawyer is now outside the ring for the same reason. He has rushed Duggan into that steel barricade, that iron barricade around the ring, and purpose, you can see that top strand of band of metal is strictly to keep people from coming into ringside and the wrestlers from going out into the ringside. So now as Duggan comes up, that chair found his head and found it with a solid thump. I want to tell you, that was as clear-cut sound as you could possibly hear in this building. Duggan trying to go up on the outside to get the coal miner's glove. Duggan didn't make it, and Mad Dog Buzz Sawyer has used that pole in a way that it were intended to be used. There goes the dog after that leg again to come in there with those teeth of his and to chomp down. Duggan on his knees. Duggan being dragged up and bear hugged by a man whose arms are comparatively short, which gives him an advantage in applying the bear hug. 5 minutes have gone by in this wild and unpredictable battle here at the Sam Houston Coliseum. Mad Dog Buzz Sawyer and Hacksaw Jim Duggan, a coal miner's glove, is resting 10 feet above the ring on a pole, and nobody has made it yet. Sawyer hasn't tried. Duggan has tried several times. He knows that they may get a lucky break even if he hasn't got Sawyer stretched out, and he may be able to get up there and grab it. Here's the Dugan chant, Dugan. And they sound off in no uncertain terms. They have fought Dugan, and they want everybody to know it. The broad back of Mad Dog, and the Mad Dog pulls at the chin of the Hacksaw. Ride 'em cowboy, only this is a dog doing the riding, and he has been smashed into the turnbuckle by Jim Duggan. Duggan down. There's Sawyer up. Sawyer gets... He got the handfuls of hair. He was looking around for it, and Dugan's fans are trying to spur Dugan on to a spurt of action. He has been taking a lot, and he has been giving but they want him to get out there and give some of that sustained punishment that he can do so well. Bear hug. Remember, that back has been crashed into the barricade around the ring. That back has been hit with chairs several times, and Duggan is having his problems. Anybody has problems when they step into the ring with this Sawyer. Sawyer is a difficult puzzle to solve. Duggan, he came out with his elbows. He came crashing down on both sides at once and looking for tender territory, and he did get out of the bear hug. Now Duggan, two-fisted work. He likes that. And as he sets Sawyer up, Duggan is waiting. He's waiting, and he tried to flip him over, and the two of them, in a move that Duggan made to lift him up and throw him over, the two of them crashed, and both men took punishment. Crotch hold, he's going to try to lift him, to literally stand him on his head, and now Duggan did it. Sawyer's the one who injected the hold into the match, and it was suddenly reversed and lifted him up and dropped him. A lot of punishment for these two guys. They have literally worn each other down here in about 7 minutes of this battle. And as Duggan goes back over to the corner and pulls himself up, he wants to get into a position to capitalize on this feeling and get up that pole if he can. There he goes now for the pull up the pole, and again, Duggan having his problems, and he's hung up on that pole, but he has not yet gotten to the top. He came fairly close that time, but close just doesn't count. It only counts to get that glove down and get it on your hand. And there's Sawyer stretched out on the canvas, and Duggan's a little worse for wear right now. And as he starts to move up to the pole, he watches Sawyer carefully. That could give him the advantage. It won't take long to get up there, and again, it's Sawyer. He's got the hair and he's pole, and he inevitably crashed that head into that unyielding pole. So Duggan now is inside the ring. Duggan is on the canvas, and Doug's head has been crashed into that pole. So at the 10-minute mark, Sawyer has thrown Duggan again to the cold Coliseum concrete, but this time, the first time, he has made his way over to the pole. He looks like he doesn't trust it. And here is Duggan, who came under the ring and came across and has caught him and dropped him and laid him out in the middle of the ring, and the fans here are screaming for Duggan to make it up. He's going to make it. He's got it. And as he starts down the ring, Duggan is possessor of the glove, and he is now about to put that hand into it. And as he comes around, it wasn't all the way in. He's ready now. He is ready to go to work on Sawyer, but Sawyer has the upper hand so far. Duggan has the glove. He hit him with his left hand and drove it in there. And there is Dick Slater has just come down here with a chain with that dog collar on that belongs to Sawyer, and Sawyer has used the chain. So Slater again has interfered in a match between there and as Dugan moves over to the corner. He has stopped it, and oh, man, that coal miner's glove puts Duggan on top. There it is, and the winner is Hacksaw Jim Duggan. He has scored a win, and there's Slater being threatened by the coal miner's glove. And as Sawyer comes across there, he crashed that into the head of Duggan. Now Duggan's getting it from both sides, and the two of them are wrapping the chain around the neck of Hacksaw Jim Duggan and pulling from both sides at the same time. And this, of course, could choke Duggan completely out of this match or any other match. Sawyer and Slater. Here comes help, Al Perez. And here comes some more into that ring after him. And doing the crashing. Duggan is down. Here's Perez clears the ring on this side. And the outside goes Slater and the Mad Dog, and they head in the direction of the dressing room. So Hacksaw Jim Duggan gets a tremendous hand from these fans as he scores a win over his arch rival, the Mad Dog Buzz Sawyer. Well, if you think that was rough, then just imagine what it's going to be like at the Coliseum on Friday night when each man has a dog collar on his neck and they are separated by 8 feet of chain. That's as far as they can get away from each other, and it's going to be a wild, wild, wild battle. Remember, it will not be seen on television.
Coliseum. This opening's being taped after the matches have taken place inside the ring, after another wild bust-up between Mad Dog Buzz Sawyer and Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and after promoter Paul Bosch has added to his huge Christmas Spectacular card a savage showdown dog collar match, Mad Dog Buzz Sawyer, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and you've either got to be a crazy man or a mad dog.
Crazy, and I don't have regard for life, for human beings. I don't have regard for nothing. You know, it seems like Paul Bosch went and outdid himself. You got that most vicious wrestling match in the country, in the world, right here, look at me. And you know what you went did? You went and you poured Dick Slater from the building. You tell how low that is. You tell me what Dugan had to ask Paul Bosch to get that done with. He don't have to be nowhere. Why does he have to be barred from the building?
Well, why does Hacksaw Jim Duggan have to get on the other end of this chain in a match that you're world famous for?
Because I hate his guts. And because in Houston, Texas, you're going to see the most vicious match. 10 feet long, 25 pounds. If you don't like to hear the sounds of bones cracking, and you don't like the sight of blood, you better stay home and do some babysitting, because Dugan, this is where it all ends, brother. This is where I beat them all. I beat the Legends, I've drugged the Junkyard Dog, I beat the Funks, I beat the Hogans, I beat the Flairs, I beat every man in the world, and now there's a legend. And this legend's name's Jim Dugan. Well, Dugan, hook yourself up at the end of the Mad Dog and get yourself mentally and physically prepared for the fight of your whole life in Houston, Texas. When I'm done, I want all of you to get on your knees, and I want you to worship who's the king, and that's the Mad Dog.
Mad Dog Buzz Sawyer battles Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Dog collar match. That match will not be on television. Dick Slater will be barred from the building on that huge Christmas Spectacular that sees sensational Terry
Going
Taylor.
to put a dog collar around his neck. There's going to be 8 feet of chain holding him to Mad Dog Buzz Sawyer, and I think that Duggan has some plans.
Fair play, Mr. Bosch. Turn around. Old Buzz Sawyer thought he was a big, brave man. He says, Hacksaw. He says, I'll try your coal miner's glove match. And what happened right here in Houston in front of all these people? 1, 2, 3. I finished it. Old Dick Slater has to come down and put his 2 cents worth in. But you know, Mr. Bosch, Dick Slater is barred from the building next time. So you're all on your own, tough guy. Hey, I'm a fair guy. Everybody knows Hacksaw Duggan. I'll keep my composure. I'll try your kind of match. I'll go in there and I'll strap that dog collar on, and go ahead and strap your dog collar on and howl at the moon, or howl at the people, or howl whoever you want to howl at. But I guarantee you one thing, when that ring that bell, all you got to do is open your eyes and look at the other end of that dog collar, and you're going to see 6'3", 275 pounds of anger, of fury, of revenge, baby. You're going down. I'm ridding you out of Houston wrestling. Tough guy.
That's it. 2 days after Christmas, and this match is just
South Wrestling. I'm Jim Ross, along with Joel Watts and our special guest commentator, Mr. Unpredictable Dick Slater. We'll be calling the action, ladies and gentlemen. So many exciting things going on in the Mid-South area. It's great to see DiBiase back. Of course, Dick Murdoch is back in the Mid-South area with no remorse whatsoever after what he has done to Ted DiBiase. And he says if DiBiase gets in his way, he'll finish him once and for all. We heard those comments from Cowboy Bill Watts last week. Also, a top junior heavyweight, Brett Wayne, in the Mid-South area. And, of course, one of the great athletes in professional wrestling, Terry Taylor, back in the Mid-South area. A lot of exciting things happening, Joel. Look at this television program. So many great tournament matches. I know you want to tell everybody about it.
Well, the Mid-South TV title tournament is underway. We have 4 matches scheduled today, but keep in mind, we have a new rule. The 15-minute time limit has been done away with. We now have matches for 1 fall or TV time remaining. Scheduled today, we have Jake the Snake Roberts against Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert, Mad Dog Buzz Sawyer against Nick Patrick. We have Dr. Death against Rob Ricksteiner, and Humongous against Hacksaw Jim Duggan. 4 fantastic TV title matches.
You know, last week I was in a TV championship match myself against Alps. I'm very interested to be here today to watch these television tournament matches because I'm very interested in the television championship myself. You got today Buzz Sawyer, Nick Patrick, and also you got Jake the Snake Roberts against Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert. You know, Jake the Snake Roberts, as long as I am here making my expert commentaries on this, the DDT, his fame and holes should be barred. Well, another thing I'd like to say something about Grizzly Smith, the matchmaker. As long as I am around here, Grizzly Smith, as long as I am accompanied by Journey, I know what you're trying to do. All the people in the Mid-South area would love to see Butch Reed have Journey for 30 days, but baby, that's never going to happen. I'll tell you that right now. As for you, I wish you'd smile once in a while, Joel. Every time I come around, my face is on the camera or I'm on the scene. Something always exciting happens. But I'm not here today to do anything but commentate these matches as a special guest commentator, and I would like to see exactly what kind of competition I'm going to have to go after to become the Mid-South television champion.
All right, I want to add one thing in response to your comments. Mid-South has a standing $2,500 fine to any guest commentator that leaves this area and gets involved in any situation in the ring.
I'm here to get involved in anything. As you see, I've been fined before. I have enough money anyway. I got $50,000 to play with as it is. I'm not here to interfere in any match. I'm here on a scouting mission because I want to know who I may have to wrestle, and of course that could be anybody. I might have to wrestle Buzz Sawyer, my good friend. I might have to wrestle Humongous, who knows?
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, with that situation, Dick Slater will be the guest commentator on these matches, and we will be back with a great television tournament match. Jake the Snake Roberts will go against Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert right after this.
Our television time remaining for the Mid-South TV title bout. In the red corner from Lexington, Tennessee, and the House of Humperdinck, Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert. And across the ring from Atlanta, Georgia, in the blue corner, Jake the Snake, your referee, Carl Fergie.
Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert, there you've seen, was Sir Oliver Humperdinck.
But look at Jake Roberts. Don't tell me that he don't look like a low-down snake of a dog anyway. He'd do just about anything to win the matches, I can see. And right there, you got Eddie Gilbert going ahead and almost catching the foul line, Jake Roberts.
All right, I want to clarify something right now, ladies and gentlemen. This is Jim Ross along with Dick Slater at ringside. Joel Watts.
Special guest commentator.
Exactly right, a special guest commentator.
Mr. Dick Slater.
All right, Mr. Dick Slater is with us, ladies and gentlemen. Joel Watts has bowed out of this situation at this point in time. Mr. Slater, one of the prime candidates for the Mid-South Television Championship, victorious in his tournament match, very controversial, I might add, last week against Al Perez. But be that as it may.
You would be biased, wouldn't you? You would think controversial about me as long as I'm standing here. But I'm going to go over here and take a look at Jake Roberts and Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert. Of course, Humperdinck, one of the most successful managers of professional wrestling today. As you can see right there, Jake Roberts twisting Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert's fingers. That's an illegal move.
Well, that's extremely debatable, but I don't plan on being here to debate you. I do look forward to your insight as to the strategy that both these men will employ in this contest.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, being that I may end up having to wrestle either one of these gentlemen, Jake Roberts or Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert, for the television championship. Of course, there's so many top competitors for this championship, and the way the tournament's set up, I could be wrestling anybody. Jake Roberts could be wrestling anybody, but right now, Jake Roberts is in a really tough match against a nice man like Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert.
And I'm sure you're going to say that the man we just saw on the screen, Sir Oliver Humperdinck's also a nice man.
Oh, he's a great individual. Have you spent any Sir Oliver Humperdinck? He's a great individual. He's got a mind on his professional wrestling. Everything he's ever managed has been a champion.
Look
at Humongous. Look at Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert and the Nightmare, the Mid-South Tag Team Champions. And you see right now, Jake Roberts twisting. Jake Roberts. That's the best about Jake Roberts. The only thing that Jake Roberts really has going for him is that DDT. I've never seen Jake Roberts beat another man with any other hold other than the DDT. As far as I'm concerned, there's a lot of dangerous holds in professional wrestling, and the DDT has to be classified as probably one of the most dangerous holds that you'd ever have to get into. They once outlawed the pile driver. Now they should outlaw the DDT.
Well, that's only your opinion. It's not the opinion of Mid-South Sports, I'll tell you that, because it's a very legal maneuver. It is cruel but fair, as the shirt says.
You break a man's neck, and you know that I've never done that to anybody myself.
No, but you attempted to break Butch Reed's neck. Let's go here on television.
Butch Reed's a low-down dog anyway. I don't appreciate Grizzly Smith at all, the matchmakers Mid-South. I came here for a special mission, and all of a sudden, I got to wrestle and put my lady up for 30 days. There's no way that she's going to go through that. There's no way that I'm ever going to have that happen to Dick Slater.
Well, let's focus on the match at hand. We've got a very interesting confrontation here. Jake Roberts with all the leverage.
Eddie Gilbert's going to beat Jake Roberts. I feel it right now. I'm going to make a prediction. Because Jake Roberts is so cocky, he thinks he can just about beat anybody. And right now, Jake Roberts is working on Hot Stuff's arm, but just like any other professional wrestler, so there he goes. Jake Roberts goes ahead and lays a big right hand on the top of Eddie Gilbert's head. That's an illegal move.
Well, no one said that Jake Roberts followed the rules to the letter every time he gets in the ring. But you made one very astute statement. That is that Jake Roberts can beat anybody that I've ever seen get in the ring if he can execute the DDT.
That's
a legal maneuver.
Take a look at Jake Roberts and take a look at that sinister face on him and tell me that Jake Roberts wouldn't do just about anything to win a match. Well, right now, he's got Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert in a bad way. But I guess right here pretty soon the tide's going to change. And as you can see right there, Eddie Gilbert dished out a legal blow. And now Jake Roberts, well, see right there, Eddie Gilbert was a little too quick to think. You got to do a lot of thinking right there. Jake Roberts pulls him by the hair, right back down and that arm again.
Well, I think Eddie Gilbert is, of course, been on the defensive. Jake Roberts has controlled the tempo and has controlled this match from the outset. I will say that. Eddie Gilbert is a tough man. I'll agree with you in that situation. He is a very tough man, very opportunistic, and he raked the eyes, a blatant infraction of the rules.
See, there's a very smart move. Jake Roberts got them big old long legs, and Eddie Gilbert was able to get right down underneath him and come up with that combination of moves that he did right there. And now, of course, Eddie Gilbert, he's got a loud going around there.
Well, he may have.
He knows what he's doing, though, see.
And he's making a quick exit. Gilbert tried to go right to the well, but it was dry. Jake Roberts. Gilbert. Why is Gilbert?
You know why Gilbert's running now? Jake Roberts is using his fist in every move he's got. Now Jake Roberts made a very stupid individual move and found himself caught right there. You know, Humperdinck has trained his men very well, you know.
Well, he is, of course, 5 times manager of the year of professional wrestling, and right now, Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert taking over on the man with the DDT, Jake the Snake Roberts. And as we see the tide turning here on Mid-South Wrestling, this television tournament match, one fall or TV time remaining.
I told you he was going to win this match, didn't I? There you go, right there. That's it right there, I'm guaranteeing. Oh, jeez.
1, 2.
Jake Roberts is very lucky to kick out of that one.
Jake Roberts is a competitor, no doubt about it. He has the solid support of the fans. It's great to hear the DDT chant everywhere he goes, any arena in the country. They want to see it.
Jake Roberts, do you hear him chant Jake Roberts like they chant Dick Slater, like they chant Journey? You know, everywhere Journey and I go, is everybody's got a little nasty sign for her. I'm tired of that myself. I deal with a lot of respect everywhere I've gone in this world. And right now you see Eddie Gilbert's got Jake Roberts in a real bad position. And that's right. Hit him back like that because Jake Roberts has a discount because he did the same thing to Eddie Gilbert.
Well, let's try to keep our comments unbiased for the guest commentator.
I'm not a biased commentator. I'm sitting here and I'm calling it play by play. Right there, okay, that's Jake Roberts is down. He's came out of it again.
Well, a well-executed inside drop cradle. Eddie Gilbert had on Jake Roberts, but Jake with that long, lanky frame kicked out.
Kind of grease in his hair or something where hot stuff can't hook them hands together. I know in Jake Roberts ought to have something up his sleeve.
Well, I don't see why you have to be so negative at every situation.
You think Jake Roberts is very good looking? I don't think he's very. I think he's a low-down dog myself.
Snake Roberts.
Snake, yeah, Snake, yeah. The Snake.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, now remember this match, one fall or television time remaining. Jake Roberts with that knee lift.
There he goes right back to punching the guy again. There he goes. There, he set him up for the DDT, and a legal hold should be barred for professional transfer. And if I can do something about it, there he goes again. Maybe smart move. Oh, see what I mean? And then he goes his neck.
The DDT, everybody is standing, and we have got a winner in the television tournament. Jake the Snake Roberts with the DDT, a legal maneuver, I might add, and we'll be back.
That stuff's face. Look at him, look at him.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back with more exciting Mid-South after this word from the Mid-South Sports Network.
TV title tournament bout, one fall or television time remaining. Supposed to be in the red corner, Mad Dog Buzz Sawyer. And across the ring in the blue corner, his opponent, Nick Patrick.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're ready to start this.
There's my man right there. You know, I got to admire Nick Patrick. He's got a lot of guts. But just like Buzz Sawyer right there has got that chain, you know, Buzz Sawyer has never been beat in a dog collar match. Matter of fact, he's the only one I've ever heard of to beat the Junkyard Dog in a dog collar match. And right now he's trying to get Nick Patrick to get into that chain.
Well, that's not the way.
Patrick ain't going to do something.
The match wasn't signed to be a dog collar match.
Wait a minute, here comes Coconut Head. Here comes Coconut Head himself, huh? Hey, we need to do something to find him. I'm not down here to do anything. I'm just down here commentating. Get him out of here. Get old Coconut out of here. Get old Coconut Head out of here.
What about the challenge back jumper? When you don't put your woman up, back
Butch,
jumper.
come on now.
I'm ready to put her.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've got a match in the ring, and Nick Patrick's taking.
Why don't you put her?
I apologize for this interruption, ladies and gentlemen. We're trying to call the action. And Mad Dog Buzz Sawyer with that power slam.
Come on, back jumper.
That's all she wrote for Nick Patrick.
I'm just ignoring you, Butch.
I'm ready to turn out the field.
All right, Butch, that's... All right.
Get him out of here. Get him out of here. Get him out of here. Hey, why don't you go do something, huh? Why don't you go clean the garbage up yourself?
All right,
See now,
ladies and gentlemen.
Butch Reed calling me a back jump. He's going to go in and jump buster. Did you see that? That's how stupid Butch Reed is. That's how stupid Butch Reed is. He's getting caught now. Check this out. All right, that's it, Butch Reed. That's how good
call for this.
You tell me old Coconut
Here
Head.
comes Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
To do something right there.
Here's Hacksaw Duggan. There'll be something done, all right here. Duggan and Sawyer. Fist and fire right here. Hacksaw Duggan and Mad Dog Buzz Sawyer.
You know, that's ridiculous right there. And I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to see my perfect opportunity now.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. You better stick around right here. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we got bodies all over the place. And Dick Slater, you heard him. He said he saw his opportunity right here. And Duggan and Sawyer are fighting all the way out the front door. They knocked the barricades over. There goes the referee. And now Slater has got that chain. And Reed met him with a foot. Hacksaw Butch Reed is loose. Hacksaw Butch Reed is loose. and he's tearing the clothes of Mr. Unpredictable Dick Slater. This crowd is standing. He's got Slater down nearly to his BVD. Soup bowl. Dark Journey is still here at ringside. Duggan and Sawyer all the way out in the parking lot. They're telling me the police officers there trying to break that up. Dark Journey's going to the ring. They're trying to restrain Hacksaw Duggan, and now Dark Journey is trying to protect her man. Look at this. The referees are trying to restrain Hacksaw Reed. Dark Journey's trying to protect her man, who just got his clothes tore off of it. Reed went for Dark Journey. Hacksaw Reed is standing tall, and Slater has had his tore off. Slater down to his underwear. And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to try to get this thing put back together. Here comes Hacksaw Jim Duggan. I don't know where Sawyer is, somewhere in the parking lot. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to try to get this back together. We'll get it back together, and we'll be right back after this.
Mill tag teams, and then you've got your great tag teams. And what you're looking at right now, Stan Lane and Steve Keirn is a great tag team. If you don't believe what I'm saying, just walk in any newsstand anywhere in the country, brother, and pick up a magazine that says wrestling on it and turn the ratings, and you'll see the fabulous ones right there in the top 10. We've been there for the past 4 years. Walk in any major toy store in the world, and you'll see these dolls. See these dolls here? That says the fabulous ones, and they're by Remco, the world's largest toy maker. That's because we're great. You don't get to be great by getting beat. You get to be great by beating people. And Hector Guerrero and your brother Chavo get ready to get beat right there in Houston, right there in your own backyard, because we're not flying down there to get beat, brother. We look good, and we're going to continue to look good. And that means walking all over you and your brother. Get ready, guys. You're going to be biting the dust right there in Houston. The Fabs are coming your way.
Television studio. Joel, thank you very much for joining us, rejoining us. I must say, $2,500 fine. I feel like it's going to be automatic with Dick Slater. I'm sure that we'll hear more about that next week.
Well, we haven't really had time to announce anything yet, but I'm sure that he's going to be fined $2,500. As a matter of fact, it's practically official at this point.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that $50,000 that Ric Flair gave Mr. Slater is really, that pile of money is certainly dwindling. Let's go now to ring announcer Boyd Pierce.
This event, a tag team match, one fall or time limit. The team in the red corner, Larry Clark and Broadway Joe Malcolm. Chops Cash and Mad Dog Boyd, the Bruise Brothers. Your referee, Carl Fergie.
And the crowds in the Mid-South area love the Bruise Brothers, no doubt about it, undefeated in tag team action in the Mid-South area as they prepare to get it on with Broadway Joe Malcolm and Larry Clark here on Mid-South Wrestling. Again, Jim Ross and Joel Watts with you at ringside. Thank you very much for being with us. We've got action in the ring.
It's the Bruise Brothers. These two can really mix it up. Pork Chops Cash can really duke it. And when Dog hits you with that splash, there's no getting up. Oh, high elevation on Broadway Joe Malcolm. During my absence, Jim, I heard an announcement that Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert has offered a reward information leading to the arrest and conviction of the person or persons who have stolen his portrait. That should be interesting.
Yeah, that's a very interesting situation. No doubt about it. And an interesting situation will be for Larry Clark, as he has been tagged by Broadway Joe, waiting on him. One pork chops cash, one half of the Bruise brothers.
Collar and elbow tie-up, and Cash with a right cross to the face. These two go back alley style. There's no doubt about it. Whoa! A hard clothesline. Mad Dog Boyd, a powerful individual.
He's about 280, it looks like, Joe. 285 and growing. Pork chops. He's a strong man. Pork chops Cash in a great condition. Now there's a tag.
Looks like they're up for that big splash. He catches him. Lateral press.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Bruise brothers, victorious right here on Mid-South Wrestling. And they feel good, and they are victorious. And we'll be back with Al Perez versus Ricky Starr after this on the Mid-South Television Network.
You tried everything, huh? First you get Dickie Slater barred from Houston Coliseum, and now you're talking about the loser's gonna leave the town. You know, that's just fine with me because I'm not a loser, I'm a winner. I had never in my whole life lost one of these matches. And you know, this is kind of special to me. You know why it's special to me? Because I'm gonna love it when you're laying down in the pain and the agony and the blues, and I hook this dog collar and this chain of body, and I make you suffer, and I make you say, Mr. Sawyer, I quit, I don't want no more, and then I break your bones. Do you know how tough it is when you was growing up fighting all your life? Do you know what it's like just to exist? Do you happy when you go home and you lay down at night and the next day you turn over and you're black and blue? You come and make me leave Houston. Dickie Slater, we'll get him anyway. You come on, tough guy.
Time 2 days late, as usual.
Was that my present?
No, that was not breakable, Jim Ross, and I guarantee you something. Old Hacksaw Jim Duggan's not breakable neither. You know, I was back there kind of rearranging my presents. And I heard Buzz Sawyer out here talking about Dickie Slater's bar from the building. He's going to take care of business. He's never lost a dog collar match. He's rough and tough. He had to fight his whole life. I imagine if I looked like to fight my whole life too, from a little baby on up. But I only fight when I have to. And when I'm pushed into a corner, and I feel like I'm pushed into a corner. Because Buzz Sawyer, you come into Mid-South, soon as you get in town, soon as you step off the bus. Where's Hacksaw Duggan? Where's Hacksaw Duggan? Well, I told you I'm not a hard man to find. And last time in Houston, you found me up on top of a 10-foot steel pole with my coal miner's glove. I came back on down the pole, had my way with him. Old Dickie Slater had to come in from behind, get his 2 cents worth in. Well, he's not in the building. And turn around is fair play, tough guy. Strap it up, because you've never seen nobody like this before, tough guy.
The time limit of 10 minutes. In the red corner, Ricky Starr. And across the ring from Florida, Al Perez. Your referee, Tommy Gilbert.
Al Perez and Ricky Starr here on Mid-South. Gentlemen, thank you very much for staying with us here on Mid-South. One fall or a 10-minute time limit. Al Perez from Tampa, Florida, going against Ricky Starr, who hails from Nashville, Tennessee.
Perez immediately going to the armbar and twist. He takes Ricky Starr down. Starr, a very arrogant, cocky young man. Al Perez, of course, a fantastic athlete. As he goes behind on Starr, ties up the cross ankle. Coming up next, we have Rob Ricksteiner against Dr. Death.
Ooh. Well, that's going to be, they can measure that one on the Richter scale.
Most certainly, that'll be our 3rd scheduled TV title tournament bout. That'll be for one fall or a TV time remaining. And after that, if we have TV time remaining, we'll have Hacksaw Jim Duggan against Humongous. So stay with us. A couple of great main events coming up.
We sure do. Right here on Mid-South Wrestling.
Collar and elbow tie-up once again. This time Ricky Starr getting the headlock. Perez takes him to the ropes and fires him off hard. Starr went for the shoulder smash, but Perez, his quickness comes through once again as he gets a beautiful drop toe hold and ties up the cross ankle ride once again, but this time with the legs. Kind of an unorthodox way to do it, but Perez, very confident of his amateur background and his strength as well, he should be.
I think one of Perez's most glaring attributes, Joel, is his quickness. He is probably one of the quicker men in professional wrestling. And I think he also is, he's very well versed, and maybe an interesting point here is that he's just as well versed in tag team situations as he is in single competition, which may not sound like a big point, but it really is. He works as effectively by himself or with a partner. He is that talented, that well versed in professional wrestling.
It's a very good point, Jim. Perez he's just as satisfied either way. He's hungry. He's a superstar on his way up. I feel like he has a lot of potential. Ricky Starr trying to go to the ropes there. And once again, Perez tied up the leg. One thing about Perez, when he goes after a certain part of the body, when he decides to have his strategic point, he sticks with it.
And another thing, at any time, any place, in any position, the belly-to-back suplex is always a potential maneuver that Al Perez execute as well as anybody. They're right back on the offensive with a single leg pickup.
I think that belly-to-back suplex is probably one of the most technically perfect holds now utilized in professional wrestling. Kind of reminds me of the DDT in the way it can catch you at any time, at any place. Once again, back to that leg. Perez attacking the knee, attacking the ankle of Starr. He has him definitely under control. Starr looks to be getting a little bit frustrated.
You know, in the last several matches I've seen Al Perez, he has worked on the upper portion of the body. And in this match, to keep his opponent off balance, he has worked on the lower extremities, which I think is a sound strategic maneuver for Al Perez.
Well, whatever Al feels like he can use to his advantage, he goes right after it. Perez put Ricky Starr in the splits, attacking the hamstrings. He goes back again to the spinning toe hold, almost a half of a figure-4 leg lock there.
The hamstring, one of the most integral muscles in the body, one that we hear from football players, basketball players, pulling from time to time, having so much problem with. Al Perez, of course, wrestlers are the same situation, padded like a football player would be.
Ricky Starr raking the eyes. Starr getting up slowly. Sure, his knees are hurting him at this point. Starr firing away with some forearms across the back to Perez. He fires him in with a hard arm whip. Goes into the attack. Couple of knees to the midsection. Starr trying to pull Perez out of the corner. But Perez holding his own. He manages to get that arm whip once again, but just barely. He didn't fire him in with much velocity. As Perez firing back with a quick forearm, he catches him out of the ropes. There's that belly to back.
1, 2, and 3, and that's it. Al Perez with an extremely impressive victory here on Mid-South Wrestling, and we'll be back, and it's going to be a battle when we return. Rob Ricksteiner against
Steve Williams. And across the ring in the blue corner, Rob Ricksteiner. Your referee, Carl Fergie.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this could be billed as the Big 8 versus the Big 10. In as much as that Dr. Death Steve Williams, as we all know, 4-time All-American, University of Oklahoma, Big 8 heavyweight wrestling champion. Rob Ricksteiner from University of Michigan, Joel, Big 10 champion. So we'll have quite a physical battle between these two men.
Well, Jim, while neither one of these men could be considered veterans in the professional wrestling range, Dr. Death has a slight edge in the professional wrestling experience, which could be to his advantage. Both of them great amateurs, unparalleled in their weights. Fireman's carry there by Rob Ricksteiner as he does a flex similar to what Dr. Death did at the beginning of the match. Dr. Death getting up slowly from that fireman's carry. I think he was caught a little bit off guard by that.
Well, not too many men in Dr. Death's career have ex-fireman's carry on the good doctor.
No, sir. However, Dr. Death is not. Whoa, Doc! Caught him 2 quick arm drags. And now it's Dr. Death flexing.
Well, both these guys are in phenomenal physical condition. As anyone can see, they are in great condition.
Doc, oh, he made a mistake. He turned his back on his opponent. He turned his back on his opponent. Let me tell you, that's one of the things about Doc. Sometimes he relies a little bit too much on that strength of his. Gets a little bit overconfident, but you just really can't take anything away from him.
Certainly not. He is one of the most improved wrestlers in professional wrestling. No doubt about that. And he is really a superstar on his way up. But I'm impressed, Joel, with Rob Ricksteiner. He's got the amateur background. He's got all the physical tools as he reverses Steve Dr. Death Williams. That too often.
He pulled a switch on him and went into the hammerlock. Dr. Death got out of the hammerlock. Dr. Death with the Granby roll. Nice Granby roll there. Ricksteiner getting up looking a little bit confused. I think he thought that he had Doc under control. But Doc, I'm telling you, I have never seen anybody that can keep him down on the mat, especially in a referee's position like that. Doc hammered him right cross. He really hammered Ricksteiner. An illegal blow, but that gave him the momentum as he takes Ricksteiner in and hammers him hard elbow. Headbutt.
Every part of his 265-pound frame is a weapon. There is not a, he does not have a portion of his body that he cannot punish you with. The flat of the foot being no different as he is really taking it now to Rob Ricksteiner.
Jimmy, even though Dr. Death is a fantastic athlete and everything, he's kind of like Albert. He's just as well versed in single competition as he is in tag team competition. I think he's learned quite a bit from being in tag team competition from Ted DiBiase, though, tactically. He's had all the physical tools all the way along since he very first began. Dr. Death hammered Ricksteiner again with another right cross, staggered him, catches him a clothesline, down he goes. Lateral press.
This may be all for Rob. Well, Dr. Death said, no, it's not going to be all. I'm going to pick him up.
Doc with a hard elbow across the neck. Doc gaining momentum on Ricksteiner.
Just like the Sooners on their way to the Orange Bowl, they're gaining that momentum, and Dr. Death.
Whoa, body slam. Doc went for the elbow, but Ricksteiner got out of the way. Doc sometimes goes for those high-risk maneuvers a little bit too early. Ricksteiner sinks a right, toe-to-toe, exchanging blows. And, brother, let me tell you, any one of those blows could have taken the head off the normal man. Hard arm whip. Ricksteiner flattens him with an elbow. This is a fantastic battle. Both of these men have barely even broken a sweat yet, and they are in such good condition.
Ricksteiner certainly not intimidated by Dr. Death's track record, as many are.
Both men have about the same mental temperament, I think. Both of them have quick fuses.
And they stay angry. They stay in a very violent temperament. Of course, we've seen Dr. Death more times. Of course, being from Oklahoma and seeing him through the years of the Oklahoma Sooners. But I know that Rob Ricksteiner's got that great background as well, talking to people up in the Big Ten area. He is a tremendous athlete and dominated that conference.
Ricksteiner got up a little bit too high on the head there, lost his leverage, and Dr. Death managed to pull him over. Doc back up now. Doc with a hard right cross. Ricksteiner once again is staggered. Doc fires him in. He went for that three-point stance, but he missed it. Ricksteiner once again out of the way. Ricksteiner's quick. He has a high threshold of pain. He keeps it going. He has really surprised me in this bout. Arm whip! Ricksteiner went for a suplex, but Dr. Death's own momentum carried him completely over.
Boy, this is physical, Joel, here on Mid-South Wrestling.
Again, Doc goes for the body slam. Ricksteiner takes him in for the roll-up, but Doc hangs onto the ropes. Doc hangs onto the ropes, and now he's setting up for that three-point stance once again. He caught Ricksteiner off guard and really with it. He connected full force with that blow.
That's a technique he used to drive those Nebraska linemen off the line of scrimmage when OU played Nebraska, now the Oklahoma Stampede. Well, not many do it better, I'll say that. Dr. Death Steve Williams with a hard-fought victory over Rob Ricksteiner. And ladies and gentlemen, we still have some time, and we'll be back with Hacksaw Duggan versus Humongous right after this from the Mid-South Television Network. Spectacular Terry Taylor returns to the Mid-South, ladies and gentlemen, to go against Steve Dr. Death Williams this Friday night.
Terry Taylor's debut. Back in Mid-South again, huh, Terry Taylor? You didn't get enough of me last time you were here. Well, Terry Taylor, just like I tell those Longhorn fans out there, just like the Sooners put them down. You know what I'm talking about, Terry Taylor? When you come to Sam Houston Coliseum, you're going to find how powerful Dr. Death really is. So come on down, Terry Taylor. We're going to find out.
TV title tournament match, one fall or television time remaining.
Boys and people of Mid-South, I want you to gaze into the corner and into the eyes of the creature from the Valley of Death, the one, the only, Humongous.
And on his way to the ring in this one fall or television time remaining tournament bout from New York State, Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Your referee, Tommy Gilbert.
And ladies and gentlemen, Hacksaw Duggan taking a very close look at Humongous. I got a feeling they'll get to know each other much more personally than that. But I want to add that him Duggan's lady, Deborah, is at ringside for this match. Interesting situation here. We almost had the Beauty and the Beast with Humperdinck on the floor on the other side. Of course, being the Beast and the very attractive Deborah on the outside of the ring.
Well, it's good to see her again after what happened to her at the hands of Buzz Sawyer, a tragic incident. It's good to have her around the ringside. I think Duggan, I'm sure, knows what he's doing by bringing her out to ringside with him. I think he has a point to prove. Both of these men squaring off there with a couple of shoulder smashes. Duggan gets the upper hand, though. Duggan caught Humongous with a hard clothesline, takes him down. Clothesline, of course, made illegal in NFL football, but it's still alive and well in the pro wrestling rings. Collar and elbow tie-up. Humongous with a hard forearm smash. He goes for a clothesline. Duggan ropes for Oliver Humperdinck, trying to trip him out there. Humperdinck is playing with fire there. Hacksaw Duggan is one man that you don't want to interfere with. Humongous with that big leg. Takes Duggan in again. Bear hug.
Well, this is a main event anywhere in the country. It is a main event without a doubt. Where else but Mid-South Wrestling? This very important television tournament matchup. Of course, the television title vacated, and Hacksaw Duggan went to the mask, put that big grade A ham on the mask to no avail.
He hammered in that mask is a protective piece of gear. He's Duggan again. Humongous has Duggan in a predicament.
Here, Sir Oliver Humperdinck on the other side of the ring.
Humongous has been undefeated on Mid-South Television. Certainly quite a test for Hacksaw Jim Duggan. And the fact that the TV title is on the line in this tournament makes this match a very, very, very important one. Both of these men at the top of the ranks. Arm whip, and Humongous again goes to the bear hug.
Now he's got 275 plus pounds up in that bear hug, and he is squeezing. Hacksaw Duggan, you can see his back getting red around the ribs, and Humongous has really got it locked. His hands are really locked together, and Duggan is in a bad way at this point in time with Humongous tempo, which is very unusual, as we see Deborah at ringside cheering Jim on. This is a very unusual situation to see Hacksaw Duggan in.
It sure is, but the people are behind Jim Duggan 100% as we heard him chanting, Dugan, Dugan. Tommy Gilbert went and checked the arm. of Hacksaw Duggan. He was that close to being unconscious, but Duggan back in again, trying to attack, but still a little bit weary. That bear hug will drive the oxygen right out of your lungs, especially when applied by Humongous.
Well, he's 300 pounds, you know, and he's 6'6" or 7", whatever he is. He's a massive individual. Sir Oliver Humperdinck wandering around to the wrong side of the ring, in my opinion. The referee can't watch everything. He's got his hands full with this tremendous confrontation. Duggan is being really tested by this phenomenal athlete known only as Humongous.
Well, Duggan, this is the kind of match you really have to get psyched up for, and you really have to use a lot of strategy against a man like Humongous. And Duggan, of course, had his thoughts misdirected earlier with the incident we saw involving Buzz Sawyer. Dick Slater, it's official, he has been fined $2,500 for his actions. Of course. All right, Duggan's back up. Duggan's up, he's firing up.
Yes, sir, he's got him up.
Whoa, I think that's the first time I've ever seen Humongous slam. Humongous.
But the referee, right in the small of the back, right in the kidney area.
Humperdinck is pulling a chair into the ring. Humperdinck is holding a chair up. This is a new tactic, but Duggan reversed it. Oh, and he hammered Humongous. Spear. He hit him to spear. Lateral press. Oh, listen to this crowd. Yes. I love it.
Hacksaw Jim Duggan is standing tall, and he is going to move right on in the Mid-South Television Tournament, ladies and gentlemen. What a tremendous victory. There you see him. Hacksaw Jim Duggan with Deborah. A great victory for Hacksaw Duggan. A hard defeat for Sir Oliver Humperdinck's Humongous. And ladies and gentlemen, we've got a tremendous program for you here next week. Joe, tell us something about what we're going to be doing here next week.
Well, this is our final taping at Irish McNeil's Boys Club. The next time you see us, we'll be at our new location in Tulsa at the Downtown Convention Center. I'm excited about it. SPN Productions will be handling the production from now on. We'd like to thank Oral Link for the great job that he and KTBS have done over the past several years.
One of the greatest production crews in the country, ladies and gentlemen, no doubt about that. The people in Shreveport are as usual. Now, ladies and gentlemen, next week in the television tournament, you're going to see Ricky Gibson go against Jake the Snake Roberts right here on television. Plus, you're going to see, listen to this one, Mad Dog Buzz Sawyer against Dr. Death Steve Williams. It's going to be a great, great hour.
Tag teams in professional wrestling, the fabulous ones, known by their millions of fans as just the Fabs, Steve Keirn and Stan Lane. They will be here in Houston, making their Houston wrestling debut on that giant Christmas spectacular this coming Friday night at the Sam Houston Coliseum. One of the reasons why this is going to be one of the biggest cards of 1985. As Steve Keirn and Stan Lane, they've gone through opposition throughout the country. They're rated highly throughout the entire professional wrestling world, but also the fans love them because they produce the wild, exciting professional wrestling action that they go to arenas to see. And that's where you should be Friday night at the Coliseum, and take advantage of this opportunity to see Steve Stan Lane in action up against the Guerrero brothers, and that could be a real show stealer. The bell has sounded, and we have Stan Lane in for the Fabs up against the Spoiler, and the Spoiler's partner is Bill Rose, but the Spoiler quickly finding out that Stan Lane and Steve Keirn make a dynamite tag team combination. They use a lot of teamwork. Both men can explode inside those ropes. They work well together, and a crotch hold finds the Spoiler quickly on his back, and the Spoiler makes the best move of the match by quickly getting out as Steve Keirn continues to charge into Bill Rose. Steve Keirn and Stan Lane, the fabulous ones. They come into the ring with music, much like some of the other tag teams you've seen through recent years. They're exciting to watch. They produce that excitement that fans like, and they are one of the biggest crowd pleasers throughout the country as well. Stan Lane now picks up where Steve Keirn left off in a crotch hold. Powerfully built individuals. They've got good wrestling technique. They've got that ability. They've got that agility, and they've been able to work well together. And that's one reason why we're excited about them being at the Coliseum on that giant Christmas spectacular. But they're going up against two brothers in Hector and Chavo Guerrero, as you saw that devastating double elbow, and you know how well Chavo and Hector wrestled together. It could be the show stealer of the night in that tag team action. A vicious forearm, and we're going to find it now that Steve Keirn quickly gets to 1, 2, 3. The Fabulous Ones winners again, and this Friday night at the Coliseum, they make their Houston Wrestling debut. By now you've heard a lot about the huge Christmas spectacular that will take place right here in the Sam Houston Coliseum on Friday night, December 27th. You've heard so much about it, but one of the big super showdowns that night will be between Hector and Chavo Guerrero up against the Fabulous Ones, Steve Keirn and Stan Lane. And when you talk about tag teams, you're seeing two of the best in the world that night meet head on.
Let me tell you something. The Fabulous Ones have been all over the world, but then you're not talking to any just local groups, local individuals, local tag teams. We are combinations. We're brothers, and the name Guerrero means warriors. Now, you have seen us fight. You have seen us being down, and everybody's been down, but we come right up, and Fabulous Ones, you're looking at trouble. I want to wish everybody Merry Christmas, Feliz Navidad, y quiero invitar a todo el público aquí el 26, ya que vamos a estar, mi carnal y yo, somos representantes de ustedes y esperamos que nos den su apoyo. Muchas gracias.
Tremendous night, huge superstars from all over the world.
You know, the Fabulous Ones got a lot of things, like, you know, they got in the magazines, and they're considered one of the top 10. Well, Chavo and I are considered one of the top 10. You know, we don't go around with little dolls and stuff like that, but let us say one thing. We have kind of a representation. The representation we have is you, the people. Quiero decir una cosa a ustedes, mis amigos. Ustedes que son nuestra gente, ustedes que son de nuestro corazón. Vamos a hacer una cosa, tenemos que luchar contra los fabulosos, necesitamos su apoyo. Vamos a enseñarles que el mexicano es verdaderamente un guerrero en guerra y en batalla. Allí lo esperamos y ahí necesitamos su apoyo. Entonces recuerden eso, y de parte de su familia, que es mexicana, Feliz Navidad.
So the huge Christmas spectacular.
Merry Christmas.
As the Inferno steps into the ring. That's the Inferno with that yellow face, and that is Jerry the King Lawler. Now, Jerry the King Lawler will return to action at the Sam Houston Coliseum here in Houston on Friday night. That's 2 days after Christmas, and show you just why he is able to carry that crown around, and why being crowned the King of Wrestling is considered by him to be the ultimate accolade. So as Lawler gets ready for battle, you see the Inferno working up to a full head of steam. Now, I would remind you that our card at the Sam Houston Coliseum on this coming Friday night, 2 days after Christmas, is going to be a huge one. And the fact that Jerry Lawler, the King, and Anybody who has ever been in or around wrestling near the state of Tennessee and Kentucky and all of those rugged areas know that Jerry the King Lawler not only put the late Andy Kaufman in the hospital, but a lot of other people. He's a tough guy to handle. He will face the Masked Superstar on Friday night at the Coliseum. I would remind you that our ticket office will be open Sunday. Sunday from 9 to 4, Monday from 9 to 4, Tuesday from 9 to 4. We will be closed on Wednesday for Christmas Day. We will be open on Thursday and Friday, and of course the action is on Friday night. Notice the way he gets stung. That Lawler, when you take a pop at him, you can expect a lot of pops in return. Good, hard, solid battles, and the Inferno might have started a raging fire here. If you're looking for something new and novel for someone that's hard to please, why not give them wrestling tickets for Christmas presents and solve your Christmas problems and without any difficulties? There's a place to park around our office, and there is always quick service in the wrestling ticket office at 1919 Caroline. And giving wrestling tickets could be the answer that makes a friend for life, for wrestling and for you. So Jerry Lawler moves in on the Inferno, and he almost put the fire out that time as he came down and landed on the nose of the masked man. But he's accustomed to handling people of top stature. He has wrestled every big star in the game, and with tremendous results. The effort now against the Inferno is one that he is using properly to show these fans what he can do and how he can do it. On Friday night, he will meet a man of great stature, because the Masked Superstar is the kind of a guy who can out-wrestle the Inferno. He may not be able to out-wrestle Jerry Lawler, however. Few people can make the claim that they can. Reverse chinlock is Jerry's hold, and the grip around the head is solid. It is not a chokehold. It is a good grip to wear your opponent to cause him problems. Now, this is the first good effort that the Inferno has been able to make, but he wasn't able to really keep those shoulders down, and that is essential to the conduct of a successful match. And now, as he moves in on Jerry, he's got the opening. He is ready, but not ready enough. Lawler, as he uncorks, finds the right spot and is trying to set the Inferno up, and here he comes for a fly through the air, and he found his mark. He's top man. There's one, there's two, there's three, and he hopes to do that to the Masked Superstar at the Coliseum Friday night, 2 days after Christmas here in Houston.
Wrestling fans in Houston, Texas. In case some of you don't recognize me, I am Jerry, the King of Wrestling Lawler, and I'm coming back to Houston. Hadn't been there in quite a while, but I got a match the 27th of December, the Sam Houston Coliseum, with the Masked Superstar. I'll be honest with you, I don't know too much about this guy or why he wears that mask, but I did hear that when he was a kid, he was so ugly that his parents used to have to sit him in a corner and feed him with a slingshot. I don't know about that, but I'll tell you one thing we're going to do. We're going to find out just how ugly he is, because I'm going to do everything in my power to take that mask off of the Superstar at the Coliseum. Now, I may not be the greatest wrestler in the world, but I got a pretty good right hand and not too bad a left. I got a little hole called a pile driver that I put a lot of people in the hospital with, including Andy Kaufman. And Masked Superstar, I'm coming for you on the 27th in Houston.
Sensational Terry Taylor. You're going to see him in action here against Barry O in a match that took place here in the Sam Houston Coliseum, right here in Houston, Texas. Terry Taylor, that sensational young star that is reaching his peak in professional wrestling. We saw him start that big climb when he wrestled here in Houston Wrestling Mid-South area the last few years. He elevated himself to the Mid-South TV champion, then went on to win the North American heavyweight title. He's the man that chased world champion Ric Flair. But Terry Taylor does return to Houston Wrestling, and he's one of the stars that fans have been demanding the last few months. It'll be this Friday night, the giant Christmas spectacular at the Sam Houston Coliseum, and Terry Taylor is going to be in great form. You see Terry Taylor listening to the instructions by referee Ronnie West. My name is Peter Burkholz, and I would like to urge you to take advantage of this Christmas spectacular, because not only will Terry Taylor be returning, but also returning to Houston Wrestling will be Jerry the King Lawler. Also making their debut will be the Fabulous Ones, Steve Keirn and Stan Lane. The Guerrero brothers will be there. Plus, that Savage Showdown dog collar match will not be shown on television, because in that match, the dog collar chain will be legal, and it will not be sanctioned by Mid-South Wrestling when Hacksaw Jim Duggan battles Mad Dog Buzz Sawyer. And I do want to remind you one more time that if you have some last-minute Christmas shopping to do, that the ticket office at 1919 Caroline will be open Sunday. If you're watching on Sunday morning, we're open right now. We'll be open to 4 p.m. Get your tickets early. Wrestling tickets make excellent Christmas gifts for that wrestling fan that you have in mind. And we will be open Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. But most important, make the event this Friday night at the Coliseum, the Christmas Spectacular, a great event for the entire family, company, kids, neighbors, friends, all be at the Coliseum, and we'll celebrate the holiday season together. But Terry Taylor now catching a few wallets from Barry O, but as you remember Terry Taylor, you know that he doesn't stay on the receiving very long. He is one of those top stars that can explode, and explode Terry Taylor does with that fist right between the eyes on Barry O. Terry Taylor, former North American heavyweight champion, a man who still has great things ahead of him, and he will be battling Steve Dr. Death Williams, and that should be a great test for him. A good flip by Terry Taylor, and he has one of the best arm drags in professional wrestling. He knows how to use the momentum of his opponent to his advantage and bring him to the mat. Taylor has a fantastic wrestling background. He's got that raw ability. He's got that desire. He's got that crowd appeal that gets those thousands of fans behind him. And as he charges up the wrestling fans, the Houston wrestling fans charge up Terry Taylor, and it would be great to see him back in action at the Coliseum. Barry O used that wild swinging right of his to clobber Taylor. And now as he tries to set him up, wind up and does right across the side of the head. Barry O, star in his own right. As he's looking for a place to throw Taylor, he's got him up on the shoulder. Hard body slam. You saw Barry O use that weight of his body too, but Terry Taylor has that ability to take punishment. It's one reason why he's one of the top stars today. He can take whatever his opponent can give out, and then he can return and return even more. Taylor catching that boot from Barry O. You've seen possibly Terry Taylor in action on the Superstation as he has continued to make a name for himself up and down the East Coast, going great guns, but he's making plans to return to the Houston wrestling area. This Friday night at the Coliseum will mark his return, and already Taylor's wrestling fans are calling the office. They're all excited to see him back in action. Right now you're seeing him in action as he fires lefts, and then he fires that right. because when it comes right down to it, if his opponent wants to slug it out, Terry Taylor is willing to accommodate him. Flying mare, and Taylor aims that right fist of his, and every time he aims, it finds its mark. Taylor now throwing Orton into the ropes and comes across with that match-winning forearm, the forearm that he's made so famous, and Taylor's on top for 1, 2, 3. Terry Taylor looks great in that match. He looks sensational. He will be at the Sam Houston Coliseum, the Christmas Spectacular that you've been hearing so much about. Be at the Coliseum this Friday night. The Christmas Spectacular, one of the biggest cards of 1985. And we hope to see all of you at the Coliseum this Friday night.
People who live in Alaska know of its beauty, its wilderness, and its dangers. Dave Pearson is one of them.
I just heard a noise off to my side, and I looked, and there was a bear coming at me.
We received a call about 11:45 that a man had been mauled by a bear.
Medical technician Chris Brown of the U.S. Coast Guard knows Alaska, too.
It took us about, I guess, 5 minutes to arrive on the scene.
Even before Alaska became a part of the United States, the Coast Guard was there, breaking the ice, charting the waters, and saving lives.
We decided to go ahead and tell him we didn't want him moving around. We were going to carry out, and that's what we did.
I was never so glad to see the Coast Guard in my life.
You'll hear stories like Dave Pearson's all over Alaska. They're not all sea stories either.
Those guys earn their pay, that's for sure.
Southeast Alaska, just one of the coasts we got. Find out more about the Coast Guard and Coast Guard Reserve. Call toll-free.
Evans, hiring you 2 years ago was a real gamble. You fresh out of high school, no experience, but I figured you could pump gas. Of course, that was before I found out you could fix anything on wheels. You know what I'm going to do? Put you in charge of the entire service department. All right. Thanks for giving me a chance.
Everybody deserves to make it on their own, and there are things you can do to help, like National Urban League.
I'm Pernell Robbins. The National Kidney Foundation has asked me to talk to you about diabetes. Why diabetes? Because diabetic complications can lead to kidney failure. In fact, diabetes is one of the biggest reasons people need dialysis today. And that's why the National Kidney Foundation is supporting research in diabetes, preventing kidney failure and keeping people off dialysis. That is the goal of the National Kidney Foundation.
I always felt a kinship with Roger Maris after I learned that we were born on the same day, September 10th, 1934. I felt we were both pretty young. So it's hard to accept that he died. Robert Lipsyte brings us up to date on a story he did for us a year or so ago.
The New York Yankees retired Roger Maris's uniform number last season. A nice gesture, if a little late.
Fastball hit deep to right. Way back there.
Oh, 24 years ago, in 1961, Roger Maris hit 61 home runs, breaking Babe Ruth's record and altering the course of his life in ways that he found puzzling and saddening and embittering.
I often wonder even myself what my baseball would have done had I not hit the 61, because baseball got very tough for me after 61. It really got to the point where there was no fun anymore.
Roger Maris was 50 years old when we met last year, and still the pride of his old hometown, Fargo, North Dakota. believed his troubles began when the baseball commissioner placed an asterisk on his record to signify that it was set in a season of 162 games. The Babe season was 154 games. That asterisk, since removed, was Maris's scarlet letter. He became a target of the press, which portrayed him as an unworthy pretender to the Babe's throne. He was unfairly depicted as a surly whiner. The fans turned on Maris.
I can't do anything with people. People read the newspapers, and you know, if you read enough bad about somebody, you're going to start responding in the way they responded. And of course, it wasn't just booze or anything like in Detroit, but looking back at a country trip bottle of whiskey, going up in both places, the same stuff every day. Every kind of party every day. I think it really hit my career out because it really made me being very self-reflective.
Maris was not prepared for such abuse. He was 26 years old. In 1960, he was voted most valuable player in the league. The star was rising.
Be aware about it. Yes, but that's part of life. There's some sacrifices you're making. And if you're making hopefully at an early age that I didn't have to make it forever. And I think that matter making those sacrifices. Will you right?
Maris lived well in Gainesville, Florida, where he owned a prosperous beer distributorship. Despite lung cancer, which was in remission last year, he maintained an active life. He campaigned for President Reagan, and he appeared in charity golf tournaments, often with a close friend and teammate who was indirectly the cause of some of his problems. Mickey Mantle, cute and country slick, had been baseball's designated hero to replace the Babe.
You know, whenever Roger hit the 61 homers that year, and I had 54, they used to try to, the writers tried to act like there was a grudge battle going between us. And actually, when you live in New York, you can choose your own roommates. You don't have to room with who they tell you to. And we were roomies in New York that year, and I don't think we ever had an argument. The only thing that I feel bad about is that he used to make me do the dishes all the time. I think that's the reason I didn't move to Madison.
Kept the water, yeah. Kept his hands in the water.
I had blisters all the time for doing the dishes.
What I did, and Mickey did, I have to say Mickey and I, because we both ran this race together. Well, we did for baseball in 1961. I think it was on a run-on match, baseball, and then to have
of reward for accomplishment. And then, when he accomplished something that seemed out of reach, he was punished.
His next record hard was a 60. After I hit the 61, all of a sudden it was not the record that was small. The jury said, well, let some SOB catch that one after he hit his 60th. Well, he meant that what he said, that was going to be a tough one to catch. Well, I caught it. And then they didn't want to give you credit for it. Sure it hurt.
But the hurt never completely destroyed the love. To the end, Maris loved to talk baseball, to be with baseball people, and to relive one of baseball's most historic moments.